Hey class, it's Mrs. Gilling here, and we're going to talk today about your Unit 4 video assignment going over project number 2. But before we do it, this is your favorite part of the unit, I know, the joke of the unit. You ready? What do you call a detective from the Reformation? Martin Sluther. Get it? Instead of Martin Luther, Martin Sluther. I bet you feel like this kid right now. Stop, I'm going to pee. Oh, if you didn't like the joke, maybe you like the picture at least. Sorry, I sound a little bit like a mouse. We've had the crud going around here, so I'm getting over a cold and have a little bit of laryngitis. So sound a little funny, but I still want you to learn. So let's go into the project requirements and get started there. So project number 2, you're going to be doing a timeline. So for your first project, you did an essay. This is a little different format. We're going to focus on putting a number of events on a timeline. So here's the prompt from FlipSwitch. It says, the Renaissance and Protestant Reformation are two important events in human history, yet they are not separate incidents, but rather intertwined and connected. The purpose of this project is to present a timeline that identifies significant events of the Renaissance and Protestant Reformation. Creativity and imagery are encouraged. Use a presentation software such as Prezi, Google Slides, PowerPoint, Camtasia, or others. If you do not have access to any of these, you can use a word processing software. A list of 5 sources must be included with your project. Excuse me. The project requires you to research a minimum of 15 noteworthy events from the Renaissance and Protestant Reformation and do the following. 1. Identify and notate the date or a span of time that each event occurred. 2. Write down a brief summary of each event. What occurred? Why is the event significant? And 3. Using the event/dates you generated, plot all 15 events on your timeline. So pretty straightforward assignment. You're going to find 15 events from the Renaissance and Protestant Reformation and put them on a timeline. Make sure to say when it was and what occurred, why it was significant. So here's a little bit more specific on the details. Your timeline must include innovations in art. Include artwork by famous Renaissance artists. Innovations in science include discoveries by famous scientists. Innovations in literacy include the invention of the printing press and translations of the Bible. Events of the Protestant Reformation include events of notable Protestant reformers, information about the Counter-Reformation, discovery of Americas, and then in your last slide, make sure to give me a list. This doesn't have to be on a timeline, just a slide, but a list of 5 sources in MLA format. So pretty straightforward. You've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas that you need to include. So you want to have about 3 bullet points, three plots on your timeline for each of these things. And if you do that, you'll be successful. It's kind of a fun assignment if you're more on if you're one of those people that likes charts and graphs and artsy things. If you like to do presentations using PowerPoint, this is an assignment that's definitely up your alley. But I like it because it helps you to visually see some of the things that you're learning and when they happen. It's important to understand a series of events and seeing what happened first and what happened last. So it's a very good assignment for that. I wanted to give you just a little information on how to create a timeline in Google Slides. That way you have a bit of a springboard, a starter to help you understand how to do the assignment. Again, it doesn't matter to me what format you use to create your timeline as long as it's actually a timeline. It can't be an essay. It can't just be a list of events. It has to be in order in a timeline. But if you want to use PowerPoint or Google Slides or Prezi, whatever it is that you want to use, that's fine. Just make sure that it's on that timeline. But I wanted to give you the step-by-step instructions on how to make it in Google Slides, since I know most of you have access to Google Slides through your Google accounts. So the first step is you'll go to Insert. So when you're in Google Slides, click on Insert, then Diagram, and then Timeline. And then on the right side of your screen, you'll have a list of timelines that pop up that you can choose from. You click on the one you like best, and then at the top it'll say Dates. You'll select 5 because that's the most you can have, and that'll allow you to have 5 different plots where you can put your dates in. Since it only has 5, you'll need to do 3 different slides so that you can have the required 15. And now let me get out so I can show you it. I don't want you to just know the instructions. I'm going to actually show you really fast. So this is the presentation I made for you guys right now. I could say I wanted to put a timeline in. So I would go insert and then go to diagram here. And on the right side, I would come down and click on timeline. I'd find one that I like. This one looks good. So I click on that. And I know you can't see everything because it went over my slide, but if you click on it, it lets you write the information right there in it. So you don't have to worry too much. You can put the title at the top and change the dates down here. Right here, you can click on it and change the date. So, and this is what I was talking about when I mentioned how many dates you can put in. I would click on this one, it lets you do 6. On the other one, it only lets you do 5. But if you click on 5, then you can do 5 on this one and then create a new slide, do 5 on the next timeline, and create a new slide, do 5 on the one after that. And it's just an easy way to put it in. I know that when you read the instructions for the assignment, it sounds overwhelming, but when you actually see it like this, you realize, that's actually not too difficult. And like I said, it doesn't matter to me what format you use, just make sure you put it on the timeline. So let's go back to our presentation real fast. Let's undo what I did so we don't have that covering everything. All right. So now you know how to create your timeline in Google Slides. And now that you know what you're doing for assignment, please go into our Google Classroom and complete your video assignment so you can get some points. And so I know that you've seen this video and understand what you're doing for your project. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You'll be working on this project for this unit. You'll actually turn in your rough draft in the last lesson of the unit. And then you'll get the next unit to work on that to fix any mistakes you had in the first unit of the first lesson, of unit 6, I believe, is when you'll actually turn in your final copy. So I just make sure that on your rough draft, in order to get the full points, you have to turn in the whole assignment, right? So you need to make sure that you have all of your slides, all of your timeline, all 15 points, and you have your sources. As long as you have those for the rough draft, you'll get 100% on that. So make sure that you're good on those. One thing I want to remind everybody about, I haven't been seeing very many current event assignments turn in, the discussion assignments. Remember, in each of the units, each of the lessons, you don't do the discussion assignments that rate and flip switch. What you will do is for every unit, you'll pick one of the topics that I've listed. You'll pick that and you'll write one paragraph saying, this is what my topic is about. So for instance, if you wrote about the agricultural revolution in the first unit, you would say, I'm going to write today about the agricultural revolution. The agricultural revolution was when, and then explain what the agricultural revolution was. In the next paragraph, you're going to write about a current event news article. Now, current event article isn't reading an encyclopedia article about the agricultural revolution. It's finding an article that's in the news today, something that relates to the agricultural revolution. So for instance, you may find an article on farmers today, and you might want to write about some of the farming technology that they have. So maybe they came up with a new method on how to harvest crops. And so you could say the article that I read was about farmers and how they have this new way to harvest their crops. And then you'd write a paragraph on that. And then the third paragraph, you'd say how they relate to each other. So you'd say this article relates to the agricultural revolution because and then at the very end, give me the link to the article. I really want you to do these assignments for your discussion assignments because it helps you connect the past to the present. It helps you say, those events that occurred before really do impact what's going on today. If you have any questions on those, please let me know. I do let you have multiple attempts on that. So if for some reason you haven't turned it in yet, it's not too late. Just go ahead and go into the last discussion post of the unit. So for instance, if you haven't done unit 1 yet, go into unit 1 and in lesson 5, go ahead and put that in there for the discussion post. And if you're not happy with your grade, you can always post again and I'll grade it again for a higher score. So those are the discussion assignments. I just wanted to point that out real quick to make sure we're all on the same page there. But again, with those, if you have any questions, just let me know. Other than that, please go and complete that video assignment and good luck on your timelines. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Have a great unit, guys.